These are the examples for Geometry B, Credit 3, Lesson 16.3. Or should I say example? Once again, just as in the previous video, we only have a couple problems, and both are the same. We're giving you a couple problems to practice this skill. And so there's just one example for Lesson 16.3. 16.3, we're finding sector area. So sector area is related to something we did a couple of lessons ago, where we found the area of a circle. Now, in this case, when we're trying to find sector area or area of a sector, what we're trying to not find the area of the entire circle, but only a piece of it or part of it. And so notice we have this circle here. We're given the radius. Now, it might look like they want us to find this area here, but notice the angle that we're given, and we can tell by the way it's drawn, we're trying to find the area of this sector, all of this over here, which let's go ahead and kind of color that in. I don't know if you can see that in orange there, but that's the piece of the circle, the larger of the two pieces that we're trying to find the area of. And again, that's just because that's where the arrow is drawn, and that tells us that that's the part of the circle we're finding the area for. All right, so now this is related to, again, area. So again, no surprise to see the area formula here. And similar to the previous lesson where we were finding arc length, we're only dealing with part of the circle. And so we're going to have this fraction, 360 degrees is the entire circle, and m represents the measure of this angle here. So m is going to be 240. So the directions here are to find the sector area, and we're going to use 3.14 for pi, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth again. So let's start with m. M is the measure of the angle, as we said, so that's 240 over 360. Pi, again, pi is 3.14, so we're going to substitute 3.14 in for pi. And our radius is 18 centimeters, or for now, we'll just write 18, but in our final answer, we want to put that unit, and in fact, it'll be square centimeters because we're doing area. Even though it's sector area, it's still area. So the radius is 18, so 18 squared, and we'll have 1 in the denominator. All right, so we've got a bunch of multiplying, but before we do any of that, we have an exponent here, 18 squared. So 18 squared, remember when we're squaring a number, squaring means we're raising it to the second power, and that means we're multiplying the number by itself. We're multiplying 2 of those. So 18 squared gives us 324. Now sometimes you might just want to, instead of writing down the whole thing again, although we are going to do that just for clarity, you could probably just squeeze it up here and multiply, but maybe a better idea so things don't get too messy, just to write that out. So 18 squared, 18 times 18 is 324. All right, so now all we have left is our multiplying. So we're going to multiply across. 240 times 3.14 is 753.6. And now we're going to take that 753.6, multiply it by 324, and we get a pretty large number. We get 244,166.4. That's from multiplying the numerator. And then the denominator, pretty quick, pretty simple. 360 times 1 is just 360. So now we're going to take what we have in the numerator, 244,166.4, and divide that by 360. And we get 678.24. And so we're going to round to the nearest tenth, and recall that the nearest tenth, make sure we can see that okay, the nearest tenth, or the 10th spot, I should say, is that first decimal place after the decimal. The next number, remember, tells us how we're going to round. So the options are to stay 678.2 or go up to 0.3. Well, which is it? We look to that next number. Our stay numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we're going to stay 0.2. If it's a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we're going to go up to 0.3. Well, that's a 4, so that's a stay number. So we're going to stay 678.2. And let's not forget our units. It's centimeters and it's area. So area is always in square units. So how do I know if it's square units? If you're working with area, it's always in square units. And so our final answer, our final rounded answer for the area of this sector here, this piece of the circle, 678.2 square centimeters. So whatever the unit is, I think in your problems, number 1 is meters, number 2 is feet. So it'll be square meters or square feet. All right, so pause, rewind the video as needed to make sure you have a good understanding of what we did there. Remember, exponents first, following that order of operations. Sometimes that takes some getting used to because, again, we're used to doing things left to right. And so, but the order of operations tells us exponents first. So that's why we did that first. And then we multiplied everything here and so on. And you can rewind the video to review that. All right, so that's it for the example. I almost said example for 16.3. Good luck with the work. I'm sure you're going to do great with it. And until the next video, take care and God bless.